Welcome to college basketball in paradise from the Continental Tire Baha Mar third place game at the Baha Mar Resort. The Virginia Cavaliers at 22nd ranked St. John's Red Storm ready to battle for third place in this four-team event. St. John in last night's semifinal game. Great to have you with us alongside Kyle Macy. I'm Chris Sylvester, Sam Hyman, the third member of our telecast, and away we go with this third place game. Virginia suffering its first defeat after 3 straight victories to open up the season. And it's McNeely with a quick trigger from the corner. Ejiofor has the block for St. John's. 5 of those for the junior out of Garland, Texas yesterday. Power sets his feet. And Virginia gets 2 attempts, nothing to do on the Cavaliers' first trip tonight.
Ejiofor, like you said, outstanding game. 22 points, 8 of 10 shooting, 5 blocks. Just missed a couple free throws late that gave Baylor the opportunity to get that victory.
The big question early in this game, how much energy will St. John's have as Lewis drives, misses, gets it back, misses again. Scott tries to run it down, but he stepped out of bounds. St. John's playing 50.
The question, if it stays close and it becomes a close game down the stretch, who will be able to dig deep and get that energy after playing 50 minutes if you're on the St. John's team?
Already the second swat for Ejiofor. Here comes Lewis with a fantastic finish.
St. John's very active on the defensive end. That's exactly what they want to do. Get some steals to lead to easy baskets the other way. Virginia just cannot allow that to happen. They've got to take better care of the basketball and get a good shot every time down the floor. They're not that explosive on the offensive end.
Well, Saunders trying to prove that they line. Ames lines up a 3. Buchanan has the second chance, and it rolls off. That was an area where Virginia was dominated by Tennessee last night. Richmond to the 10 for 2.
Yeah, nice little one-on-one crossover move. Went right by the defender. That's his game, though, going to the basket. He's not a great outside shooter, so you got to know your scouting report and make him put it up in the air from distance.
Kadari Richmond logged 45 minutes last night. 14 points, 7 assists. As Power stripped, Buchanan draws the foul.
Kind of toughed it out at the very end.
St. John's, they really felt like play in the second overtime. Baylor wound up hitting back-to-back threes to put the finishing touches. Lewis watched by Saunders. That's a long 2. Off the front rim. Ejiofor on the offensive glass puts it home.
Ejiofor a crowd favorite here for the St. John Red Storm. The crowd in attendance when he came out to warm up started calling out Zuby, Zuby, because they felt bad for him because, you know, he wanted to make those free throws.
Yeah, it was off of his missed free throw that Baylor had the game-winning buzzer beater from Jeremy Roach. Buchanan fouled again and headed back to the free throw line. Hard to fault Ejiofor. Back-to-back games with a double-double for Ejiofor, one of the co-captains with Buchanan short. It ricochets back to him. Ames left alone and knocks down the 3.
Ames is a type player that's very...
He's the only Virginia player in double-digit scoring last night. Virginia only had 42 points as a team. A takeaway for Saunders. Coast to coast. Rejected by Lewis. There comes Smith. Alley-oop to Richmond. The right hand. Heel.
I'm not sure why Power went away from the basket to his left. He had kind of an opening coming off that high screen.
Smith kicks. Ibinayo buries the 3. Famer Rick Pitino, who was very frustrated following an opportunity to secure a resume win over Baylor last night, but understands the importance of bouncing back as Simeon Wilcher, fresh off the bench, adds to this early lead for the Giants.
He's taken in his career. So, you know, it's how you respond, though, after those heartbreak losses to show your character and what you can do. So far, looking pretty good.
Another steal. Wilcher for 3. You said it, partner. Instant offense, and St. John's, in the blink of an eye, they balloon this lead to 9. Robinson tried to catch the lob underneath from Rhodey, and bodies hit the floor. A foul on St. John's. Sadiku Ibinayo. Second season with the program, a red shirt last year.
Looking build for a basketball player.
Comes from a football background. His father played in the midst of a scoring drought nearing 4 minutes.
And we saw this last night as you watch the offense in the half court. Players just kind of standing around watching whoever has the ball instead of continually moving, setting picks away, or some kind of action to make the deep.
Well, Virginia opened the season 3 in three-point territory the first 8 minutes here. Is it imperative for Virginia?
If they're shooting a low percentage like they did last night of only 28%, it really doesn't do very well for them. They're going to struggle.
St. John's 7 of their first 12 on this end. Richmond, another crossover. And he draws contact after this game concludes between Tennessee and Baylor. Right now, St. John's doubling up.
3%. They made 2 out of 3 three-pointers. Richmond misses both those.
Who's on this end? Kofi, up fake. Left it short.
Tried to go to the other side of the basket and instead reversed it back because he saw the defender there.
Aaron Scott knocks down the triple.
St. John.
And Aaron Scott picking up where he left off in that Baylor matchup. Had 5 triples in his 35 minutes off the bench. Getting the starting assignment for St. John's tonight. Day Ames with the shot clock at 5. A catch and shoot. It's Rhodey with the response.
Rhodey had a pretty good game.
It's Scott, same spot. Different result. This one bangs off the heel. Here comes Day Ames. Taine Murray lines it up and buries the 3. Back-to-back knockdowns from the defense from Virginia.
It was, but I'm sure that Coach Pitino would rather just him take a 5-second count as opposed to turn the ball over. St. John's did do a good job of getting back.
Buchanan to that left-hand spot. Cavaliers. Wilcher watched by Murray. Out to Lewis for 3. It's good.
Rhodey late coming out to close out on Lewis. You can't give him that much time to get.
As the runner-up to Miami.
I think he's really valuable to this Cavalier team, though, the fact that he can create on his own, and it's going to give opportunities to his teammates if he'll be patient enough to pass if they're open.
Iwu Chukwu thunders it through. Here for Rick Pitino. Rhodey, baseline, skips it into Murray. He's stripped. Another transition chance. Scott, alley-oop. Lewis powers it down. Timeout, Virginia.
Another sophomore. So they're still kind of learning about themselves, what each player likes to do. And as a point guard, you know, you kind of have to discover where a guy likes to catch the ball, what he's best at, and try to get him in those situations. If you're not sure, you know, I talked to Smith.
He's always on triple-double watch. He always seems to put up big numbers in the points, rebounding, assist categories. Lewis, free throw line jumper on target.
You know, I've kind of hesitated to say this.
Sneak it into Buchanan. Another takeaway for St. John's. It's been the theme of this opening half. Scott for 3. Put back jam for Lewis. Nobody boxed him out. 13 straight for St. John's. From this Virginia program. Smith recovers. Scott plays it back to him. It's good. All Johnnies all the time. 16 straight for St. John's. There's been some hesitancy shown by the freshman Kofi on this end of the floor.
Well, and if you watch the offense, they're going perimeter. Everything's around the three-point line. Finally, McNeely knocks down a 3, which maybe that'll get him going. But when you come off a pick, there you go, shoot it. Oh, he had an opportunity.
McNeely picked up by Lewis. It's Saunders from the outside. Back-to-back 3s for Virginia.
Now you got something to build on. Now you got to get a stop on the defensive end. Keep that momentum going. Don't allow an offensive rebound.
5 first-half points for the junior Elijah Saunders. Lewis into Prey. It's against Baylor. Rhodey tried the pocket pass to Buchanan. Instead, it finds its way to Wilcher. Corkscrewing downhill. He finishes off the glass.
And Virginia wants to just hold it for 1 here.
Well, for St. John's, 14 points off 11 Virginia turnovers. The Johnny fans are into it. Hoping for one more stop to staple a dominant half.
Got to go. 5 on the clock.
It's McNeely. Step back. Long range, and he's fouled, and it bounces in. Shooter's touch. A logo 3 from McNeely in the final second of the first half.
Bad mistake by Lewis. Commits to foul in the shot. He's a good 10 feet behind the three-point line.
Down 6 trays in a game.
But you've got to try to look for the basket if you're going to score those points. You know, last night it was like he wasn't even thinking about scoring. Again, you got to give the defense credit.
A 4-point play closes the opening 20, but it's still St. John's by double figures here. Turnovers here against Baylor last night. Buchanan, high lob, low post. Saunders juggles, gets positioning, and scores off the window.
Yeah, use that big body. Bang a few people around and create some opportunities.
The PhD I want.
Yeah. Richmond,
late in the clock, puts the dribble behind his back and scores over the top of Buchanan. Richmond skips it to him. Lewis, a game-high 11 points in that opening half. Richmond finds Lewis. Wrap-around pass. Ejiofor had a chance. Game-winning three-pointer. It came after back-to-back free throw misses with 4.1 seconds left.
They recognized how hurt he was by missing those free throws, but they love him. I mean, he
does a nice job to save it into Richmond. Lewis, a crossover and a miss. Ejiofor stays with it for 2.
Well, Lewis is impressive. He not only can post up, he can shoot from outside, and also can handle the ball well enough to drive by players. Didn't get that layup to go, but it was a real good-looking drive.
6 points, 5 boards for Zuby Ejiofor. Saunders, nice move along the baseline.
See, Saunders has a mismatch down there. He needs to take.
Kind of feels like a critical stretch here for Virginia to try and stay in it.
Yeah, you don't want to lose contact, and they're right on that border, down 15.
Scott, catch and shoot. He buries the 3.
He's going to keep shooting until he made it.
Tony Bennett, but he serves as valuable of a practice player that you could hope for on a college basketball team.
Yeah, he was the best player by far on the practice team the other day when they were warming up here.
Kadari Richmond rolls it in, and this is St. John's largest lead tonight.
So, you know, one thing that Baylor had success in scoring some points against St. John's is St. John's liked to switch on the defensive end, so why not go into a big on little pick and roll the big man down to the post, now being guarded by the smaller player, and then reverse the ball back and throw it down in there, make them have to shift.
To UConn in the national title game 2 years ago. One of the big portal gets for Virginia. Picked to finish 5th in the 8th.
But they would be in that list, I would think.
Saunders into double figures with 11. Lewis down the baseline. A right-hand jam. McNeely, limitless range, but he missed that one wide to the right. Confidence to pull it from anywhere. Smith, corner pop. Yes, sir.
St. John's feel out the effort defensively that Virginia is applying right now.
7 trays for St. John's, 2 here in the second half. Ames out to Rhodey, and he nails the catch and shoot. Ibn Ayo back on the floor for St. John's. Johnnies have one more game in the Bahamas. They'll square off with Georgia Sunday as Richmond knocks down the mid-range jump shot.
Yeah, that's his game. They've got Virginia almost a half court when they were out there in their offense, and that shot well beyond the three-point line by Power, who's only 3 of 12 from behind the three-point line all year at that one.
R.J. Lewis, game-high 16. His Kofi steps back, a clean look, and it's way off. Buchanan boards the miss. A reload for Virginia. McNeely feeds it. Buchanan scores it.
It's a good drive by McNeely. Buchanan stepped right into the middle of the lane, presented himself for his teammate.
Buchanan, the sophomore from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho in the Pacific Northwest. Matching his point total of 6 from last night against Tennessee. Ibn Ayo for 3.
You know, St. John's a little bit too athletic for Virginia right now. So what can you do to try to stop that easy offense, I guess, if you will? Well, you might want to try some zone. I know St. John's has been shooting the ball very well, but it presents a different rhythm when you're playing man-to-man and getting wide open looks into the rhythm of the offense, stepping into shots. You know, match-up zone and pack it in the middle. And make sure the key there would be to rebound.
Power finally gets one to drop. It had been a rough couple nights from the field for the Duke transfer, who appeared in 26 games on that Blue Devil team that was ousted in the Elite Eight last season.
Because right now, Virginia's having a hard time keeping the Johnnies in front of them one-on-one defense. They have a chance. St. John's has a chance to switch back.
Saunders trying to find that low post positioning. Richmond poked it away. Virginia recovers, and Murray sinks the turnaround baseline 2. Got 5 minutes to run against Tennessee late last night. We played into Friday morning with that second game last night after the 2 overtimes between Baylor and St. John's. R.J. Lewis will take his first free throws of the night here.
Or above even.
CBS Sports record. St. John's up 25, 7.5 minutes to play. Baylor and Tennessee next. Saunders with a nice up fake. High off the glass. He's fouled. Thought they played very well against Villanova in a 10-point win. Knocked down Forts.
And you talked about it too last night. They played pretty well that first half. It was a 1-point game at halftime, but just to let Chaz Lanier kind of go off, had about 8 or 9 points in a row on his own. And that was pretty much the ball game, because if they fall behind in a big hole, they don't score a lot of points in a short period of time, so it makes it very difficult.
Glover fires and fills it up. The freshman's first collegiate field goal. Well, Smith is back in along with Ruben Prey for St. John's. 6 minutes left to play. Edge of 4. Puts it on the deck. Left-hand hook settles in. Kofi sets up McNeely for 3.
Yeah.
The double figures his 3rd tray tonight.
And the stats show that if the ball goes inside and kicks out, you shoot a higher percentage. You just kind of get a rhythm into it, step into it, all the momentum going forward.
Glover gliding, almost wrapped it in. The right to left sweeper. First 3 games before a pair of DN. You know, coached in between Louisville and Iona. Seeing some time here, and misses the turnaround right-hand hook.
Not a bad move, though. Good hustle to keep that ball alive so they were able to get it.
Andrew Rohde will head to the
tough. Could have maybe blown the whistle a little bit more, but
2 really good basketball teams. What do you feel like they learned about themselves, these 2
together? And again, the more they can do those things, then the more they understand their identity, which is really important in a basketball team. Like, if we've got a guy that's not a real good shooter, we don't want to run our offense, so I'm not really going to look for him that much on the offensive end. I'm going to let him do his thing. Hurt St. John's resume come tournament time, and Rick Pitino, on the other hand, said anytime you lose, it's not a
game. Came into this 2-night event top 10 nationally in 3-point field goal percentage, but 6 of 20 last night, 9 of 26 in this game. That bounces in for Ruben Prey.
I'm not really sure. The only reason I can think why Smith is still in the ball game for St. John's,
trying to get the triple-double.
Yeah, you got 9 rebounds, 7 assists, and 8 points. So still got 2:48 to do it.
Rohde wraps it in, plus the foul. St. Thomas, a new Division I pro. Iwuchukwu flips it in with a free throw coming.
Long.
And started 11 games at USC. Like
big wingspan as well.
St. John's has another big freshman, Kaman Maker, at 7'2", did not make the trip with the team. Robinson fouled on the putback. Against nationally ranked competition, that'll be and every other.
An all-arm wrist shot.
I love the way you break down free throws. I mean, you were. Sharma on a fadeaway, and the freshman connects.
It's a nice little step back move. I don't think she was going.
Smith down the lane, goes high off the glass. That's a double-double for Smith.
Yeah.
Davon Smith at his 4th program, Utah last year, Georgia Tech, Mississippi State previously. Kofi on a long 2, rainbows it home.
I'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive. Well, but he's only a freshman. I mean, you got to understand he's still learning too. But he's got some skills.
Probably the best pro prospect on this Virginia team. St. John's dominant wire to wire tonight. Then after heartbreak in the Bahamas in double overtime last night, the Johnnies roll their way to a 3rd place finish in the Continental Tire Baha Mar Championship.
Back and forth because they didn't want to be the one with the ball when the shot clock violation charged with the turnover.
The Red Storm rebound, 80-55. St. John's dominates Virginia tonight. 3rd place finishers in the Baha Mar Championship.